This is called a jamdo. So we say butterfly swords. Technically, this isn't a sword, it's a knife. Sword in Cantonese is kim. So kim usually has two edges. This only has one edge, so it's a simple knife. Butterfly swords is used probably because if you say butterfly knife, you confuse it with the balisong. So it's not a knife, it's not a sword, it's a knife. So it's a soft weapon. So you want to drag and make a long cut. Can I borrow your arm for a second? So if I just chop, I only make a cut like this. But if I drag, I make a long cut. So your goal is to, if you use the arm, if you cut the arm, slice the arm or slash it, you make a long cut and the muscle tissue pops out. If you want to cut across the body, oh yeah. If you cut across the body, you try to disembowel the person. So it's a soft weapon. So one of the most important things is to know how to use it. Knowing the form is okay, but a lot of people know the form and don't know the mechanics behind it. First of all, in a real bat jamdo, only the bottom third should be, only the top 2/3 should be sharp. The bottom third should be dull. The reason for that is so you can block with it, use the block. So there's a couple of reasons for that. One is, if your opponent has better steel and you do edge against edge, you're going to damage your blade or cut through your blade. If you block a pole and it goes deep into the wood, he pulls the pole back, he may disarm you, take your weapon away. So you have to really focus on this bottom 2/3 for blocking. So let's just start off. Most people know our stance work. Side neutral stance, right? Front stance. So our side neutral stance is called Pin San Ma. There's Jo Pin San Ma, Yao Pin San Ma. That's left and right, side neutral. So the proper stance for our blade is like this. So if you think of a punch, like this. For another thing we should notice, we don't punch with a vertical fist, like this. Our punch is a little bit of an angle, okay? And a good thing for this, put your fist on my forehead. So if I just punch like this, his hand is is far away from me, but if I turn this, it's further away. Plus, this fisted the face. It's contours to the face. It's like everything right through the face. If you strike it to the rib cage on the parallel side, the bones go this way. So here, my elbow's right there. But if I do this, it's a little more in the center. So that's the actual way our punch is. So in the guard, so if I was in a guard, my first hand, this is the mansao, right? Okay, asking now. This is the wusa. Notice how my hand's a little bit at an angle, because when I punch, it's going to be at that angle, not this way. Okay, so that's going to be the guard. If I was using fists, it would be like this, right? Okay? So the same thing with these blades. It's like I'm punching with the guard, right? So when everybody get their blades, if you don't have blades, maybe people can share them with other people. So let's start off with the left side neutral stance. So for you who don't know our system, envision a box, upper left-hand corner, from my perspective. Oh, sorry, upper right-hand corner, upper left-hand corner. I turn my center to the right-hand corner of my square, but my guard's out here. So in our system, we fight at an angle. We don't fight square on. That's what we call it, side body neutral. So everybody start off with the left side neutral. Okay? Now watch. Most popular Wing Chun styles use this position. In the heat of combat, you end up cutting the finger off. So we want to make a V, letter V, like this. Up the other way. Oh, okay, thanks. So I'm going to step to the right, do a right side, left side. this on your own. If you don't want to cut someone, you can use the guard to hit them. Strike with the guard, as if you had brass knuckles. You can strike. My front leg, because that's the leg I kick with. This one's facing away. So it's like, it's obvious here, that's the front leg. So this is the disguised front leg. And what's so good about this stance is that, didn't for a front stance first? So, if I can kick him in the leg, I can get it, but if he's got his leg back, if I can kick him, he can hit me. Whoa! That was good. You see what I'm saying? And if I try to go to shoot, he's gone.
There's no leg there.
There's no leg there. So initially, we try to start your counter like this. Then once we make contact, then we step in. So remember, the leg that's pointing to your target is your front leg. So you should have that hand in front as well. Okay? So that's what the side neutral stance is.
Okay, and this out that is your
That's
front
the
leg.
lead hand.
That's your
Answer your question?
Yes.
It's called blading. So we find it in an angle. We don't fight you square on. Okay? Our weight's always 50-50. Remember that. So you can move. So now this stance can be done. So we're going to practice from a side neutral stance, step into a front stance, and then step back. Then you can change, and then step into a front stance, and then step back. Do that a few times. Now right front stance, back to a right side neutral.
You want me to see step forward back or just step?
Nah, you step back. Okay? Do it correctly the first time. Good night. Good night. Just when we start with the part okay, you sort of got the gist of this, all right? So just like you have the hand position, empty hand, the same things with the weapon. So let's just do one weapon at one blade at a time. Step to the side and do a tan. This is called a tan do instead of tan sao. Tan do. So with the tan sao, you want the bend of your wrist parallel to the tip of your nose. So that anything that comes in, you block with your forearm. So if you didn't have a hand, you could do a tan sao. If your hand is low, it's going to collapse if somebody comes really hard. Okay? So the tan should be up here to protect your head. So with the blade, remember I told you that bottom third part of the blade is used for blocking? That should be right here. So if somebody swings at you, you've got the tan. And the word tan is important because it means disperse or spread. So if somebody swings at me with a round punch, I would, yeah, that's good. I don't want to take the brunt of his force, so I spread. I disperse the force. So the same thing would happen with the blade. You spread along the weapon. See? Okay? So let's practice a few times. Practice one side first. Tan go, and then back to the guard. And then a few times. I still keep this here. If you do this, then I know what's happening. Yeah. Stab, jab, stab. Take the blade. So I'm here, something comes to the side, I tan. So let's do that for about 5 minutes. So when he gets that, we're going to do both sides. Nothing's done exactly simultaneous because I give my opponent both my arms. Everything's like, it's like, because it allows you to interrupt. It's 7. So it's like 1, 2. See, in case something happens. If I give both my weapons or both my hands, I can be trapped. I commit both. You don't want to commit both hands. So it's always, you're a musician. It's a grace note. There you go. Okay? You too. You know what grace note is. So if you're a musician, everything's like a grace note. Yeah. That's like keep it up higher. Yeah. One higher, block up here. Okay. Remember, you gotta cover your face. Most fighters are headhunters. To my left side, I use the lead hand to strike. Right? If I'm in the right side neutral, I use the rear hands to do the, to block, to do the time. So here the lead hand with time. Here the rear hand with time. Okay? So while I got your attention, I'm going to swing at you. Okay. You do the time really slow with your left arm. Forget the technique.
Okay.
Now watch.
Wait a minute.
I can slice his hand. So whenever you do a time, you do a jump. Because if he just does the time, I can slide down and cut his knuckles. So if he does tan jut, right? So that jut turns to be like almost like a wusao too. So you do tan jut.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to miss.
You always want to do this. Otherwise, if you just do the tan, you're going to cut your hand. It's wet. So tan jut. So if they slide down, I'm protected by the guy. So the same thing you were doing now, do this really slow. See? Tan jut. Okay? Do it really slow. Yeah, so you swing, I go tan jut. Okay? So tan and you jut it real quick. Jut means jerk, you can't do snatch, jerk. You know? Your eyes guide your hand movements. So he swings at me on this side. I have to focus. You have to train to do this. It's not going to come easy to do this. If I block this way, he pushes through. Look what happens. He's going to come and cut myself. He's going to do this. So you have to, see? And if he punches lower, I would go, see? I have to focus my eye. If he punches higher, I go wherever that is. And you have to train this. You're not going to get it just today. You have to make sure that you block with this part. That's more important than doing all the fancy stuff in the form. You can do all this form and get hit and cut with your whole weapon, see? Like that. So when you're doing this tan jump, end up, see? If I do something like this, he can push through. You can't block here. It's going to disarm your weapon.
Here's the power and control here. That's your point of control.
Yep, that power right there.
Right? Your power and your control.
So that is more important than even knowing the form. What I'm about to show you later on is going to be really difficult. Most people don't understand what this is. They think it's just a bunch of flowery movements. I'll show you that, but we're going to spend a lot of time on that. So now, like I said, the knife movements are similar to the hand. So without one blade here, just the gan do. See? So from here, I can do a gan. Okay. I can also do a bong do. So we're going to practice doing a quan do. Quan sao in Cantonese means entwining. It's a bong and a time. So if I had some rope, it's like I'm entwining the rope. Quan sao in Cantonese. So a quan is a bong and a time. A quan sao. Same with the quan do. A bong and a time. See? So the Bong sao hand is going to come back on the inside and push out, and the other hand is going to come up. See? So if he swung to my right side, and the same principle, this has to be strong. This has to be 135 degrees out. And I have to make the contact point here, otherwise if I do that, he can slide into it. So if he swung to the side, quan, it's a quan. So I want you to practice this. Let's face with me. So from the left side, neutral. Step to your right. Quan do. Keep it up, covering your face. I mean, most Wing Chun people across the world do the butterfly knife down here. I'm short. When you fight little people, all right, you want to protect your head. Okay? So, here. So let's step to the left, turn to the right. The right hand goes on the inside and does a tan. The other hand goes up and does a bong do. So right now, this is the elbow. It's obvious here with the hand with the elbow, of course. So this is the elbow now. So this is your elbow. So would it be in the left side neutral? So you're gonna step to the side, fondo. Step to the left, fondo. Do that a few times and see for us I'm not gonna swing it in the correct position. This has to be strong. You have to be able to take somebody swinging a baseball bat at you. This has to be boom. That's why you create a wall. This has to be really strong. Otherwise it'll collapse if someone swings at you. Stick that from here, here. So from the bong sao, I step to the side and do a ton. See? So with the kwan sao, this comes on the inside. So bong is lifting and rolling. Some people do bong sao on top.
Swooping and diving.
Yeah, if you do that, you never protected your side. So your guard is here. Why go on top and get hit? I cover up. So bong sao lifts and rolls. Even the dai bong, the little bong sao, it rolls and lifts, rolls and lifts. Okay? So with the blade, one blade goes on the inside to become a ton. So let's do this a few times. You see upper gate, some space to have leverage. You want to have better leverage against it, so the force. If I have it together when he swings hard, it's not the same. But if I spread it, see? So you don't want them close together. You want to give a little room. Okay?
2 points of contact.
Now, in classroom, swing slowly. In classroom, I'm doing this. Ideally, I'm going to do this. Swing it to my hip. See? Yeah, cut his wrist. You want to cut the ulnar bone. Okay? Ulnar nerve. Okay? Okay, the blades should be custom made for you. They should be the distance from your elbow to your closed fist. So you're able to come inside without cutting yourself. Inside. So when you do the bone, you have to be able to come inside here and spread out to a ton. If the blade's too long, you can cut yourself. Okay? So while I'm doing this, this bong sao or bong do comes out, and then this turns into a bong sao. Bong do, I keep saying sao. Bong do. Okay? So the bong do comes out, becomes a tan do. So the other hand comes in, just like in your hands. You come on the inside. This comes on the inside and does a top. So the bone comes in, the elbow stays in this fixed point in place, that Moyuk Chan principle. The immovable elbow principle that's in all Wing Chun lineages. See? I step, push up. Okay? Got it? So when you're doing that kwan, bring it in. So now, like Sifu Rasan said, we're going to add this element. So I jump. Okay? And then go back to the beginning. And then jump. Just do that alone. I'll show you what comes after that. Okay? Jump. So I want you to just practice this, just stationary. Put one hand behind your back. Inside. Outside. Inside. Outside. Inside. Outside. So, I've got a square in front of me. So I'm going to go down, square, making a diagonal line in the square, inside, outside. So when I do this, I go to this corner of the square to that lower corner. And then from the upper left to the upper right. It's a downward figure eight. See? So slice, 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 slice. Yes. Nice. You do this. See? With this hand loose like that. See? You can do that real fancy. You do that in combat, somebody's going to take your weapon out. You want to grip it like your legs do pins on it. Because it does. So, here. So the footwork would be this. So, we'll use this corners here. So I'm going diagonal in front of me. And don't come way back here. You want to keep it out in front because that's when you're using the length of the weapon. You don't want to bring it way back here and way back here. Okay? So, upper right hand corner. Upper left hand corner. Yeah. See? See? Let's do that a few times. This is on the side of the weapon, you want to use the edge. So you have to focus on the edge. So he's slicing my arm up. So it's a slashing weapon. You want to slash, not chop. That's why they have the word jump, jump, 8 slashes. Oh, why is it called 8/9? Okay, I'll tell you. Because the monks, this could be myth, who knows, it sounds good in movies. But the monks didn't want to kill people, so they would block, they would try to cut you at the wrist or the elbow. So that's 1, 2. The knee or the ankle if you kick, so that's 4, and you got 4 on the other side. So those 8 slashes are to the wrist and elbow. Yeah, well, if you got to that point, well, they would say, hurt before maim, maim before kill. Okay? So let's try that down. It's all going to be tied together. So, we do slashes. Like if you see the beginning of the form, you block, you front kick, and you slash. Now, a lot of people do the slash like this. It should be parallel to the floor. Put your arm for a second. If I just do this, I got to cut just on the contact surface. It's a dragging weapon. The best way to practice this, like Sifu says, with a handkerchief or a bandana, and practice doing this with it. The bandana, it makes you float. This is a soft weapon. Okay? So I want to slash and make a long cut. So when you do these slashes, watch. The blade should be flat with the floor, not at an angle like this. Not this. I mean, even people in our system do this. I always try to correct them. It's not that. It's all the way out because you're slashing. So it should be flat. No, do that again. No, the slash. Flat. 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 Not out there, out here. Because I'm striking at you. So you want to cut, no, that's so far. See? This should be flat with the floor. Not like this. The tip should be right out. Okay? So you've just done the downward slash, right? And then another slash. So I want you to practice this. Let's make this, remember? 1, 2, and then a slash. 1, 2, slash. Okay, so basically, yeah.
I'm stealing someone's t-shirt again. Seafood.
Okay, see, there you go, see? And then when you do both, you have to, well, I don't have it right. You hold the end of the handkerchief.
See, you tie a knot at the end,
Yeah, at the end.
but you're not holding, like it's the weight.
And then, see? So you know how you flow. You can do the upward. See, I don't stop now. But some people stop. Freeze. This makes you float. This is actually, this is a part of our training. You should add that to your training. Jut, inside cut, outside cut, slash. This doesn't move, it stays a guard. So the strike comes, inside slash, outside slash, jut, strike. Time, jut, inside slash, outside slash. So he swings. This jut gives me room to cut here and then cut here. So that's when I do the jut. I jut it away to get room to slash here and here. Okay? So you're gonna palm go jut. Slash the wrist, then slash whatever's there. Neck, chest, whatever's there. Inside and outside synchronous are very slow and meticulous. Everything. So just with one blade. Do the inside and outside. Okay? Now do the right there, freeze. Do this and freeze. And then go around, freeze right there. He's blocking. Now do the outside. And he's blocking. Do the inside. And he's blocking. Do the outside. And he's covering that side. So when you're doing this, it's not just this. I'm protecting my right side. I'm protecting my left side. I mean my left and my right side. See? I'm protecting. So let's do that. Keep going, just keep doing it. So he's slicing and protecting. So I'm slicing and protecting that side. I'm slicing and protecting this side. I'm slicing and protecting that side. Because I can do this, do that. Nice. Oh, do it. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. Okay? So all these movements are significant. It's not just a bunch of that. It's I'm slicing up and something comes there, I have to cover it. I'm slicing up, something comes there, I have to cover it. Okay? So keep that in mind. So the gando is this. So it's like a square but turned a little bit. See? So one hand does gan and the top hand does line. Come to the wooden dummy for a second. So for a long time, even as a seafood, I thought this top hand was a tan. This is a line. So line is bar arm. You do lan sao and single tao, you do a horizontal line. This is a vertical line, which is in the G form. So I line. I bring this in. And the purpose for that is, can I borrow you? Okay? No, just your arm. He's a pretty strong guy. So let me bring her arm down. Okay, now watch this. 2 fingers. Right? So when I block somebody, I want to slide down to his wrist. See? I block here, I slide down to the wrist, and you start around. And then so I can go around. So on the wooden dummy, sometimes this represents the forearm, sometimes this represents the upper back, the bicep. Thank you. Bicep. So I'm blocking, and I'm coming down to the wrist. So this is a lang and a gan. Lang and a gan. So it's a similar concept with the blade. See? I'm protecting my upper gate and my middle gate. So let's go back over here. This one, we're gonna have fun with this. So, right? Now, you got to remember which blade goes where, because look in the mirror, what's this? I can cut myself, okay? So, here, this blade comes up. Now, in a fight, you're not gonna bring it by the numbers like this, but I want you to do this very slow. So this hand goes forward, see? This one comes up, this one goes forward, so it stays in front. Now, when you get better, it'll just come naturally. But just so no one gets hurt, if you practice with metal blades, this might be a good drill. So, got it. Comes up, this pushes forward. The right hand pushes forward, so it does a guy in front of you. Push forward. Push forward. Got it. So this protects my head. Remember, not here. I gotta focus my block in this area. Use your eyes to guide your hand movement. Same thing with the gando. Here, if you block here, see, I'm gonna lose my weapon. So let's do that a few times. So this one comes up, that one pushes forward. So they can't slide in. You don't want to do a big gap like that. So it's a nice tight block, okay? This is called a water buffalo. I can't envision a water buffalo walking sideways. So when you do this, you plow forward, as opposed to doing this. A lot of Wing Chun lineages do this. That's a low buse out. Just like you do a buse out here, you can do a low buse out. So it's a central line. So if he throws up, if he's facing me and he throws a round punch to me, to my body, and I do this, it's gonna hit me. But we use it turned that way. So it's in my center, so my body's behind me. So we practice it this way, but it's applied out here. So my body's behind. Okay? He doesn't know if I'm going to upper gate or middle gate. He's got to cover both. Don't chase. So you what they call chasing hands. In this case, chasing knives. You guard this upper gate regardless of what I do. So change. Keep that up. Keep that up. See, don't chase. It's hard. It's hard to do. The tendency is to chase and then let it go. You know a good way to do this? Close your eyes. Do the gando. And when I say now, change. Now. Now. Notice why how you're keeping it up now?
Yes.
Because you're not sure. See? Now. Close your eyes. Now. Now. See, you didn't chase.
Right.
You did it right because you don't want to get hit. Turn the blade over. Step forward. Check. Cut. They're going to be parallel like this. So watch. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. It should be here because I'm going to damage your blade. Plus I want to strike you if I can. Strike you on the wrist. See? Using the back part of the blade. So 1, 2, that's a strike. 3, cut. There's a cut after that. No. Okay. So he swings, one. This would go for his wrist. I'm using the weapon now. Cut, cut, and then, okay. So this one, the back of the blade. So let's do this nice and slow. So strike comes to my left side, to my middle gate, my upper gate. I turn the blade over, strike to the wrist, check the person's elbow, cut, cut. Okay. So let me show you something about this part. When I do this is a slice. If you go to the deli,
Filet.
Yeah, nice.
yeah, nice fillet. Ah, that's that word better, fillet.
Filet beef.
Cut, and then cut. Okay. So, one, strike to the wrist, or if they have a pole and you can't reach their wrist, you just hit their pole to disrupt their movement. Pop, so they don't have the accuracy with their pole now. You mess them up for a fraction of a second. Okay? So, here, fillet the forearm, strike to the neck, and then slash. Let's try that slow mo. So this blade's already in front. So I just do the gun from here. It comes to my left side. If I'm here, I can't step this blade without cutting myself. I have to push this blade forward. See? So if I'm in the rear hand and it comes to my open side, I have to push this one forward to do the gun. You're not going to stop here like this. It's going to be natural, see? So from here, I have to push it forward. If I don't push this blade forward, if it comes to my closed side, so anything coming here is the closed side, anything coming here is the open side. If it comes to my open side, I'm in my closed side, my hand's already in front. So I just go down and do the gun. If it comes to my open side, I have to push this blade forward. Otherwise you cut yourself. Just remember to show you guys. I block. In classroom, you want to hit here. But ideally, I'm going to try to work up to here. And if here I hit him in the middle of his arm. But if he does this, I'm trying to go for the radial artery. Yeah, to the radial artery. If you ever hurt yourself there on the dummy, in my practicing, that hurts. That's shocking.
Radius all the way up the arm.
Yeah.
It's actually the tendon.
It's a tendon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tendon.
So you hit, okay, go to the doctor says. I tried.
No,
Okay.
you hit your foot.
So here, or if you hit the knuckles, you want to hit them and then slice, cut, and then
Take it over.
that's what you do. I know, right? Blood spurting everywhere. I'm a crazy marine. So he swings to my close side. I do the
Blind
gun.
side?
Yeah, blind side. I do the gando. And he swings to the other side, and I do a gando. And he swings to the other side, I do a gando. So that's good for training. But if the guy's real fast, you might not get that. So you've already learned the quad. So I do this, and he does the other side, I do a quad. See? So he does 1, 2. So instead of me going here and doing all that movement, I'm already in this position, just do the quad. You got it? So if the person swings to your close side, gando, quando. Then do the jut inside, slice to the wrist, outside, slice across the body. Let's try that. So you're probably going to swing to both sides. So, oh, okay, so this way. Gan, fun, jut. I have to do that jut, otherwise he can slice down. That was the blade, he would cut my knuckle. So I pan, jut. Plus this jut also gives me room to do the inside. So I move his weapon away, so now I have room to do this, to cut the wrist. And then slash. I can step in and slash, or I can just stay here. Everything depends on where you are. So let's face the mirror and try this. So you're in the guard. So the attack comes to your closed side. Gun. Step into it. One. Jut. Inside, slash to the wrist. Slash around. Drag across the body. Still keeping this up like your musao. And step into do. So now it's a jut, mudo. You want to keep it up to cover your upper gate. So try that in the air a few times. And then someone want to come around and swing at you both sides. Dragging. I want to make a long cut so the muscle tissue pops out of the skin, out of the limb. Or if I go to the body, I want to disembowel. So it's dragging. Okay? We got the guard, right? The gun. So I've already, the strike has come this way. I've already got my momentum going that way. Keep it going that way. Right? So here. Okay? It minimizes their swing. Because if I'm about to swing it to stop me, I don't have as much power. Right? So he's going this way, he just continues that way. See? And he's got away from this weapon now, the other weapon. So I got two weapons, he's going 1, 2. Now look, he's gone. Okay?
Can I ask you a question?
What's the question?
When you're here, you gotta come in tight.
Not so close together.
Not so close together.
You want to keep some space. Just like when you do a bump out, or say if you did a bone sound. So a proper bone sound is a bone in the root. So I do this, right? If I'm close together, you can push me out down.
Push down.
Keep pushing.
Push down.
After, yeah. See, it's hard to hold you. But if I got more of your limb, push.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to move me.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, see? So with the knives, the same thing. You don't want it close together. You want the... So when you do the bone though, this is the wrist now. I mean the elbow. So 135 degrees. So that's a bone though. Okay? So you want to keep the tongue though here, not close together. I don't chase, just like chasing hands, you don't chase knives. Okay? So since I've already moved this way, and the other one comes, I just turn. See? Now, in class, we're doing this. Ideally, I'm trying to get the wrist. Right? Because wrist. So I'm just going 1, 2. That's important. Then you would do the jut. Cut the wrist. Goes in the outside, and then cut the bottom. Okay? Down. Flip over. Slash. Flip over. Slash. So you're going from one corner to the other. Because you want to drag the blade to make a long slice. Slash. So now let's do the upward figure eight. From the lower left to the upper right. Flipping over. Lower right to upper left. Cut up. So it's an upward figure eight. So try that a few times. So watch, let's see what Rosanna does now. He's slicing, see? He's slicing up. He's dragging the blade so it makes a really long slash on my limb or my torso, wherever it's slicing. Okay? So the thing is to not cheat. You have to get your shoulder loosened up and your elbow and wrist. So in this instance, I got a square. There's a diagonal line here, and a square, a diagonal line there. So watch. The tip of the blade, the tip of the handle is up here. The tip of the blade's in that corner. When I flip it over, it's the same way. That's why you got to be flexible. Don't slash horizontally. You want to drag it up, drag it up. Do that a few times, both arms to get your shoulder and wrist limber. Hypothetically, so you come down. I block, put that over my head. So I block. Okay, look, in class, we're going to do this. So it's like I'm punching the sky. I punch, punch, and then slice. In real life, I would block the weapon first, then the hand. If I block the hand first, the pain's going to make him let go, and that blade's going to cut me. Okay? So he strikes down, 1, 2, I slice up. And then you go to the other side and do it with the other hand. But let's just do one side for now. So he does an overhead strike, 1, 2, strike. Let's just do that. Let's face the mirror. So he strikes. So like punching the sky. I punch, punch, and then slice up. See? You do a T-step to get off lines. Punch, punch, slice. So that was your question, G. I'm not there for anything to happen. Okay? As soon as I block, I'm off line. So let's try that one more time. Go to the left. Punch the sky, slice. Do it on your own. And you gotta remember, when I do this, the tip of my blade is pointing to the left. That's the way direction I go. And I slice. When I do the other side, the tip points to the right. Both tips point to the right. And I slice on that one. We'll do the other side in a minute. Let's just get one side. 1, 2, slice. Are any of you familiar with the Ding Chi house? We call it a T-step. See? Right? So I get off line. There's a train coming. I get off the track. And then you do a human burp. Always. You don't just let your foot land. If I kick, I don't just fall forward. Gravity dictates where I land. So come here for a second. I want to kick at you, I want you to move to your right real fast. Now he's got me. Okay? So I kick at you with your right. So if I do a human burp, I can dictate where I land. Okay? So when you do this, don't just do this. So I do the T-step, circle, human burp. And see on top, you got forward human burps, but in BG and Chub Q, you got also reverse human burps. Okay? Those are, so you have to know how to do both. So whenever you move forward, you do a human burp because you're moving. You guys are moving around. You know, weaving and bobbing. You got to be able to move to the side. Okay? Let's go. So guys, look. If you get confused, if I point the tip of the blade that way, I want to go that way. If I point the tip that way, I go this way. Okay? So you follow the tip of the blade. So he does an overhead strike. So I go 1, 2, 3. Then he strikes overhead the other one. 1, 2. Now this one doesn't go up. This gets the wrist and slice. So that's what you get is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See? So he strikes, I go 1, 2, 3, other one. 1, 2, 3. That's what it looks like, right? Yeah. And you know this West Alcero, bro. I'm telling you. 1, 2, 3.
There you go. Look at that. You got to find out.
You're making me laugh.
What lesson is that one? It's salsa.
So yeah.
Spinner, bro. Spinner now. There you go. Spinner now, bro.
1, 2, 3. Hey, what's the side cost? 1, 2, 3.
No, that's what it comes
1, 2. Is it off? 2, 3.
Crazy like me? I'm doing.
Let's do it in the mirror. 1, 2, 3. 1. The right hand strikes. 2, 3.
1, 2.
So watch. Let's do it slow. Tip points to the left. Tip points to the left. Tip points to right. Tip points to right. See? So wherever the tip points, that's where I step. Okay? And it's a dragging cut. So 1, 2, 3. Then the right 1, 2, 3. Nice and slow. We're going to take a little time on this because I knew it was going to be a little difficult for some people. So, right? He's got no power here. The joint's open. He can't push. So I'm a little guy. So if a big guy's fighting me, he lands and torques, I got to deal with all that power. But if your hand's back here, push. You can't push. If the elbow's behind the body, you have 2 fingers to stop it. So that first gun, I go here, and the other strike, I go into it. So it's all about physiology, you know? So you want to do certain things. You don't want to give the guy, like if a guy swings it bad at you, do you go away from it or into it? Into it. So you stop the momentum. You don't get a chance to build up the velocity. All right, so the first one, gone, and then quad. So take the guy, stay here for a second, watch. We're going to do this step by step. Okay. So he strikes to my close side. I'm moving this way, right? He strikes me the other one. I'm moving this way. I jut, I get the wrist. I still move this way. Right. To get away from that momentum. So I've already got my momentum going here. Just keep it going. Just keep it going. All right, so let's do it in the mirror 3 times. Follow me. From the guard, ganto, quanto, jut, slash, slash. You keep going to the right. If it came to the other side, I would do the opposite way. So again, ganto, quanto, jut, wrist to the bottom. Notice this stays up. It's like your woo's house. Keep it up. Keep your woo up. A lot of people laugh at the fact that we have our woo's house too high or the top too high. So I tell them I'm ugly enough, I don't want to get hit in the face. So I keep my woo up. Most fighters are head cutters. So you want to protect your face. Plus, it's easier to drop your hand down because of the weight of the limb and gravity than to bring it up. You can drop your hand way faster than you can bring it up. Okay?
You don't have to try and beat him to the punch.
So for You, my friend, I said with Boyat too, and I used to learn my forms like this, and that's all good. You can do a moose out here. You can do a ton in the middle gate. So if he throws a round kick to my body, I can do a ton in the gun, right? But we, in our Silam Tao, the tongue, the wrist should be parallel to the nose. So if I didn't have a hand and something came here, I can block it. The Wu Sao, this should be parallel, so it covers anything coming to the center of your face, see? So here, I would be blocking, I'm covering myself here. So that's why we keep our Wu Sao up here, our tongue up here, okay? So let's go back to the drill. See? So most people only focus on just this. But when you bring this back, you're covering that side. When you bring this, you're covering that side. Right? Slaughtering or butchery. Slaughtering, butchery. Same thing. So from here, I block, I check, I cut. Now this should be over. Once I do block, check, slice, but something happens. I missed him. I block, I check, I slice. I block, I check, I slice. Block, I check, I slice. I block, I check, I slice. I block, I check, I slice. I check, I slice. So let's do this real slow. The partner, your partner holds the blade off. Block, check. This one slices. So in this instance, I started with my right hand. So my right hand blocks and slices. The left hand only checks. If I started with the left hand, it would be the left hand that would block and slice, and the right hand would check. What we're going to do for the right hand. So I block across, check, and I slice. Block, check, slice. Block, check, slice. Block, check, slice. Block, check, slice. This is for the inside. We have another one for the outside. I'll show you that later. You gonna take one too?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, I missed it.